Now there is a big hype about big data in the world. According to you, big data is the future or is the present?
So let's look at why big data has become so interesting to so many of our customers. Actually, it goes back to Moore's law, where processors have become more and more powerful and cheaper for the same power. This has meant that processors have spread out. We have them in our mobile phones, our smartphones. Increasingly, we have processors in our cars, processors in devices. These can send back data. They can send back very useful information. We also have, of course, processors at home in our computers as we use the internet. And every time we tweet, every time we use the internet, we again can give in useful information. Now, this means that the number of devices and the number of people using the internet has been increasing, and as a result, the amount of possibly useful data has been increasing. Possibly useful. Because big data is definitely present. Big data is here. We have huge quantities of data about social media, from sensors, from mobile phones. The question is, are we exploiting that? Are we leveraging that? Are we using that big data to improve and optimize our services and businesses? So I think big data is here, it's the present, but truly exploiting it and leveraging that is still just the future. That's where we're working with our customers to make sure they can move into the future and leverage big data.
What is the importance of big data for a company? What is the value?
So the value of big data for a company is really exactly the same as data or information has always meant to a company. It's its lifeblood. If you don't listen to your customers, if you don't understand why some people buy your product and some people don't, if you don't understand how to optimize your process to save fuel or save time, you'll go out of business. It's always been important to analyze information to improve your business. Big data really gives us more to analyze. Now we can start to try and understand, why is it that 3 people who visit my website buy a product, but the 4th one doesn't? What did they do on the website that made them decide not to buy? Why is it when I drive a vehicle down the road with 2 different drivers, one uses more fuel than the other? Why is it that some of my goods are lost in transit and others are not? There's always processes we can optimize, time we can save, messages we can make better. Big data gives us the possibility of improving our businesses, whether we're in the public sector or not. Again, the difficulty is not getting the data. It's all there. Everything your customers do, everything your lorries do, everything your vehicles do, the data is there. The question is, how do you collect and analyze that data to then make the decision?
There are best practice to analyze big data. Yes. in the world?
Yes, there are. So there are some very good practices in big data. I'm going to give 2 examples, one of which is in retail. So some of the large retailers in the UK specifically have really learned how to use big data. So they have information from their customers. What do they buy? When do they buy these things? If they have 3 of these items, do they buy the 4th? What makes them buy the 4th? Where did they go on the website before they bought the product? So retailing, best practice retailing is shopping basket analysis, time of day analysis to make targeted campaigns. Another area I will give as best practice, and again I'm sorry I can't name the actual company, but it's a bank. It's a large bank looking in particular for cross-selling opportunities. Again, they can analyze the behaviours and the movements of their customers interacting, typically on the web, and they've brought out what are the characteristics of customers who take additional products. They take mortgages, they take extra products. They can now identify these customers when they arrive and start to make them the appropriate offers and the appropriate campaigns. Another example, I'll give a third, is also in banking, and that is in the area of fraud detection. So again, looking at the history of transactions and the history of movement to find out where fraudulent areas are. Other areas are in healthcare and also logistics, movement of goods.
What is the Oracle solution to manage big data?
So Oracle sees that big data has that value potentially, and the issue is trying to be able to analyze that. So what Oracle does is we bring together, first of all, the tools to compress the data. You need to get from this huge amount of data down to something which can make sense. You can start asking questions. And for that we use the big data appliance. It's hardware and software engineered together, and its job is to squeeze the data down. Then we use Exadata to allow us to query that, and Exalytics to give us visualization. So we can ask lots of different questions, correlation, possible value, and so on. So really it's a combination of big data to squeeze, Exadata to store, and Exalytics to analyze is Oracle's solution. And especially it's the combination of the hardware for performance, it's big data, you need performance, and the software for the brains.
Siamo a Napoli, prima tappa delle World Series dell'America Cup con Fabrizio Giamello, responsabile dello sviluppo dei prodotti Intel. Mi racconti la vostra partnership con Oracle?
Certo, volentieri. Faccio parte praticamente di un team ad Intel dedicato ad Oracle. Siamo 15 persone che lavorano con Oracle e sviluppano le soluzioni in congiunte con Oracle, quindi facciamo lavori più tecnici come l'ottimizzazione delle soluzioni del software Oracle su piattaforme Intel e io in particolare mi occupo dello sviluppo del business e siamo qui a Napoli per l'America's Cup World Series con una hospitality launch dove invitiamo praticamente i clienti di Intel e Oracle per parlare della nostra collaborazione e delle soluzioni.
Intel è un big nel settore della tecnologia e dell'innovazione. Quali sono le nuove soluzioni su cui state lavorando?
Sì, c'è molta innovazione che viene portata avanti con Oracle nel settore praticamente nell'ambito enterprise. Oracle, come noto, è leader nell'ambito database, una delle soluzioni più forti in quell'ambito è Exadata, Oracle Exadata, è basata su tecnologia Intel, e nuove soluzioni che sono state introdotte più recentemente sono altre della gamma degli engineer systems, che sono praticamente la combinazione di hardware e software che viene portata sul mercato da Oracle, e le nuove soluzioni sono Exalytics, Exalogic
in ottica di big data,
e sono praticamente esattamente vanno a praticamente indirizzare. Exadata era tradizionale database che è molto importante per le aziende, e adesso con Exalytics praticamente si indirizza all'area di business intelligence, quindi praticamente l'analisi dei dati che vengono immagazzinati nel database, e quindi con la possibilità di avere indicazioni immediate per il business sulle le campagne che funzionano, sulle promozioni dei prodotti e quant'altro si riesce a filtrare dai dati che sono immagazzinati nel database. E le altre soluzioni sono poi Big Data Appliance, che come menzionavi è una soluzione specializzata per l'analisi di dati che provengono praticamente dall'area social web oppure dei devices. Quindi per esempio per società che si occupano di energia elettrica, qua in Italia tra l'altro Enel è una delle più avanzate nel mondo nell'ambito della smart grid, dove hanno praticamente devices, hanno dispositivi lungo la rete che raccolgono dati in continuazione, e praticamente nel data center possono raccogliere tutti questi dati e in tempo reale analizzare e ottimizzare praticamente la distribuzione della rete, la distribuzione dell'energia sulla rete. Questo è un esempio.
Grazie e in bocca al lupo.
Grazie a te.